South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. But he died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos with 6 great days of racing starting on Friday, September 12th. The opening weekend feature is the E.B. Johnston Stakes, with past winners including the Chosen Vron and Kings River Knight. On Saturday, September 20th, we'll have the running of the Dark Mirage and also our on-track handicapping contest with 2 berths to the National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, September 12th.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning.
Well, all righty then. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. To start out another week covering the great sport of kings, Las Vegas style, right here at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital, Las Vegas. And, of course, over the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube, we welcome you to the show as we start out another week looking at the great sport of kings, Las Vegas style. And, of course, we welcome all of you here in town listening to us on our local radio station, our local anchor radio station here in Las Vegas, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, and of course on our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. We got all of those. And of course your devices, your iPhone, Android, and Google phones with the apps that you can get at your app store. And of course the KSHP app will get you listening through the radio station. The YouTube app, of course, you can see and hear us right now here. And, of course, anywhere you get your podcasting, simply put, however, wherever, whenever. Welcome to the Race Day Show as we begin, like I say, another great week of covering the sport of kings. 43 days, 9 hours, 54 minutes, and if you're right down to the very second, how about 52, 51 seconds to go until the Breeders' Cup starts out at Del Mar this year. And a lot going on as far as Breeders' Cup is concerned. Look, after this weekend, with 5 Breeders' Cup winning your in races already on this weekend, we'll have for the rest of the month, Belmont at Aqueduct will have 1 Breeders' Cup winning your in race. Santa Anita will have 4 when it starts its meet right after the conclusion of Los Alamitos this weekend. Breeders' Cup wins. And in October, you have 15 Breeders' Cup winning or in races, most of them at Keeneland Racecourse. There'll be 8 at Keeneland, 4 at Belmont at Aqueduct, and 3 more at Santa Anita. So we're getting into the crux of the situation with a lot of Breeders' Cup winning or in races up for grabs, covering, of course, until the Breeders' Cup 43 days now from the Breeders' Cup. We're going to start out with a lot of great racing and stakes races. Earlier on the weekend, on Friday, Presque Isle Downs has 4 big stakes races, $200,000 races, $150,000 one, and the $300,000 Grade 3 Presque Isle Downs Masters, and that is for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. That's on Friday. Parks Racing, which will have the big racing day on Saturday with the Pennsylvania Derby and the Cotillion, both $1 million races. It'll start out with 3 additional stakes races on Friday as well, $300,000 stakes races there. And, of course, on Saturday, Parks Racing will have 7 stakes races on a massive 15-race program. 15 races be on the program on Parks Racing on Saturday. 2 Grade 1s, the $1 million Pennsylvania Derby and the $1 million Cotillion. Pennsylvania Derby for 3-year-olds and the Cotillion for 3-year-old fillies. And then we'll have 1 Grade 2, 1 Grade 3, and 3 other stakes races amongst them of the 15 races at Parks Racing. Churchill Downs will have 4 stakes races, 1 Grade 3, 1 Grade 3, and 3 others. The Grade 3, of course, the Dogwood Stakes there at Churchill Downs. Gulfstream Park will have 4 stakes races on Saturday, one of which is a Breeders' Cup win your in race this weekend, and that is, of course, the Princess Rooney, and 3 other stakes races as well. Belmont at Aqueduct, a couple of nice stakes races, 1 Grade 3 and 1 Grade 1. And then, of course, Canterbury, Laurel, Woodbine, and even Los Alamitos will have a stakes race on Saturday. So it's going to be a big Saturday of racing for stakes races around the country, that's for sure. We'll get into the entries of the Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion in just a moment. But what I want to do is kind of update you on some news that happened over the weekend. First of all, we'll take a look at the concluding stakes race, concluding meet, I should say, at Monmouth Park. Monmouth Park concluded their 50-day meeting, but they were total handle was down 16.1% at Monmouth during their 50 days. They had 34 less races. Average handle per race was dropped to 9.8%, and that's because the field sizes were small. All right? Their big days was Mother's Day. They had 14,687 people there that day. And, of course, the Haskell Day was the big day there. They had a handle record there that day, $41,876, courtesy of journalism and the other 3-year-olds. So Monmouth Park down, but basically because they had one more day of racing comparative to 2024, but the field sizes were small because there were just not enough horses to go around there at Monmouth Park. You know, on the East Coast during the summertime, there's plenty of racetracks in close proximity to each other that horsemen have an opportunity to take their best shot at the, condition books at all those racetracks. So Monmouth Park did suffer a little bit there. Now, talking about this weekend at Woodbine, the Woodbine Mile Day, which was over the weekend, all sources handle $9.4 million, down from $9.6 million, again, because of some short fields. But the Woodbine Mile race itself handled $1.5 million, which was up 23% from the same race last year. So they were all there betting the Woodbine Mile at Woodbine over the weekend. Some horses to watch as we move towards the Breeders' Cup and Breeders' Cup races. Chunk of Gold is going to run Saturday at Churchill Downs in the Bourbon Flight Stakes. Ben Tornado, who won a big win, Ben Tornado. He's going to be, he was a Churchill Downs Stakes winner over the weekend. He's going to train up to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Sovereignty continues his workouts as he will train up to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sovereignty at Saratoga won a half mile in 49 and 11/100 seconds. And as far as other horses training for the Breeders' Cup, well, they're all getting ready to either make one more start, maybe even in the Breeders' Cup winning or in race, and then get ready for the Breeders' Cup, as I say, just 43 days away. And this weekend, between Presque Isle Downs and Parks Racing, they're going to have a cross-track wager. It's a pick 4 with a 50-cent base bet. It's going to be a 15% takeout that will link the Pennsylvania and the Pennsylvania Derby, linking a Pennsylvania pick 4, 2 there and 2 at Presque Isle Downs. They include the Masters at Presque Isle Downs to the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby. And the other one linking another race there at Presque Isle Downs. I think it's going to be one of the other stakes races on Friday. So you've got a cross-track wagering, 2 races from Presque Isle Downs and 2 races at Parks Racing. Of course, the big races on Saturday, the Parks Racing, the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby. 50-cent base bet, 15% takeout. Now, if you've been playing Parks Racing and if you're a race player that looks at takeouts, the races at the Parks Racing, the takeout level is a lot higher than a lot of other racetracks. And so John Lendo, which will be with us a little bit later on in the show, is going to tell us about the takeouts, the takeout percentages that are at Parks Racing. So you're well aware of that when you bet the Parks Racing card this coming week, including the big 15 races and 7 stakes races on Saturday. So John's going to have a breakdown on that. And we'll be taking a look, as I say, of the Masters and the Pennsylvania Derby and Cotillion a little bit later on in the show. Jonathan Ardoon will not be with us today. Everything is fine with Jonathan, but he had a conflict of scheduling with travel plans, and so he couldn't rebook. So we let him go ahead, John, and do that. So he'll be back with us tomorrow, but he did leave me a pick for today at Churchill Downs. And, of course, we have Rich Ang, John Lendo, and Jerry J. And, of course, if it's Wednesday, Dwayne Colucci from the Rampart will also be with us on the show. And, of course, we'll have your racing menu as well. But quickly looking now at the stakes races that we were talking about, the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby. This is the first go-round. I'll get into it more with Jonathan tomorrow, and of course, on Saturday we'll have selections for that race. But the Cotillion, $1 million for 3-year-old fillies, has a field of Breaking from the Rails Scottish Lassie for Jorge Abreu and Joel Rosario. The 2 is La Cara, Mark Cassey trainee with Dylan Davis. Number 3 is Cliquet, Brendan Walsh, Ired Ortiz Jr. The 4 is Indy Bay, which will get Tyler Gaffleon riding for Safi Joseph Jr. The 5, Not Too Late, Sonny Leon riding for Uriah St. Louis. Not Too Late is the 5 horse. Number 6 is Our Daydreaming Girl, Alicia Ruiz for Louis C. Linder Jr. The 7 is Good Cheer, Luis Hayes riding for Brad Cox. And the 8 is Dry Powder, Antonio Fresu will be out there riding for Chad Summers. Now, that's the field for the Cotillion. And, of course, morning line favorite there is Scottish Lassie at 9-5. Or I should say Scottish Lassie is going to be one of the favorites. The other favorite, of course, is Good Cheer as well. Now we take a look at the Pennsylvania Derby. From the rail out, number 1 is So Sandy, Kendrick Carmouche riding for Sherry DeVoe. The 2 is At the Belly, Angel Castillo riding for James Nicholson Jr. The 3 is Magnitude, Ben Curtis riding for Steve Asmussen. The 4 is David of Athens, Tyler Gaffleon for Brendan Walsh. The 5 is Happily Delusional, Paco Lopez riding for Louis Linder Jr. The 6 is Goal Oriented, one of 2 horses in, I'm sorry, not one of 2, but Bob Baffert trainee, Ired Ortiz Jr. riding Goal Oriented. The 6 horse, Baffert and Ired Ortiz Jr. The 7 is Big Truz, Javier Castellano for Brian Lynch. The 8 is Baeza. Baeza returns, Hector Barrios riding for John Sheriffs. The 8 is Gossiger, Luis Saez riding for Brendan Walsh. And the 10 will be Moplex, Joseph Ramos riding for Jeremiah Engelhardt. So you can see in this race, of course, the favorite will be Baeza. But you got Bob Baffert in there with Goal Oriented. And, of course, you've got really a solid field for the Pennsylvania Derby. So that's what the Pennsylvania Derby looks like on Saturday, and the Cotillion. And, of course, in other developments there, let's take a look at the speed ratings this weekend, the fastest speed ratings this weekend. As far as all the stakes races that happened this weekend, we were talking about Ben Tornado, who will be training up to the Breeders' Cup Sprint now. He won over the weekend at Churchill Downs, the Louisville Thoroughbred Society Stakes, and he ran a Beyer speed figure of 108. Only 2 other horses over the weekend cracked the 100 mark as far as the Beyer speed rating, and that is Noble Speech, who won the Woodbine Mile in impressive fashion. Noble Speech got a 101 Beyer speed figure. And Simcoe, who won the Vigil Stakes. Simcoe got a 100 Beyer speed rating on Saturday, and those were the only ones on Saturday that got Beyer speed rating. And so those horses, of course, Ben Tornado, as I say, will train up to the Breeders' Cup Sprint. The Breeders' Cup rankings, the NTRA poll Breeders' Cup Classic rankings look like this. In the 10th spot is Highland Falls. The 9th spot is Baeza, which will go this weekend. The 8 is Nisos. The 7 is Antiquarian. The 6 is Forever Young, the Japanese horse coming back over. You got number 5 is Journalism. Number 4 is Mind Frame. Number 3 is Sierra Leone. Number 2 is Fierceness. And by far the biggest amount of votes is Sovereignty. He's in number 1. He got 422 votes, 37 of which were first place votes in the NTRA weekly poll. And, of course, the next highest horse was Fierceness. Although Fierceness got 365 votes, only three were first place votes. So you can see how the voting is going. Sovereignty way on top in the entire RA poll. Of course, that poll will change as the weeks progress, but it doesn't look like it's going to change too much at the top because Sovereignty won't be running until the Breeders' Cup, 43 days away. All right. You've got just about everything updated that you need to know. Remember, it's going to be a big weekend of racing around the country, and certainly on Saturday, we'll be concentrating on Pennsylvania and, of course, the Parks Racing, the Pennsylvania Derby, and the Cotillion. And just remember that the Takeout means something to horse players, and John Lindo will have that a little bit later on. So without any further ado, we'll take our first break, and when we come back, we're off to the races this week from Las Vegas. Don't go away.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
The Southern California Thoroughbred Racing Circuit is back at Los Alamitos with 6 great days of racing starting on Friday, September 12th. The opening weekend feature is the E.B. Johnston Stakes, with past winners including the Chosen Vron and Kings River Knight. On Saturday, September 20th, we'll have the running of the Dark Mirage and also our on-track handicapping contest with 2 berths to the National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Daytime racing returns to Los Alamitos. Opening day is Friday, September 12th.
All righty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. It's getting to be that time of the year here in Las Vegas. We get 2 periods, going into fall from summer before winter and coming out of winter into spring before we get to the summer. And that little pocket is right now. It's beautiful out right now. We're 73 degrees right now outside. It's a beautiful morning. We're going to get up to 100 degrees today, but this will be the last triple-digit high for Las Vegas for the entire week. And then we'll be in the 90s. So in case you're planning, come on up and join us for a lot of great racing over the weekend here at the South Point. It's always fast, firm, and perfect, obviously, in the book. But that'll be the weather conditions. It'll be sunny and nice. Like I said, today's the last day for 100 degrees, and then we're going to get into the 90s as a high here in Las Vegas. The overnight lows will be just beautiful. As far as the rest of the country is concerned, Miami, 84 degrees with a chance of some rain down there. New York, 70 degrees with a chance of some rain there. And not a problem because there's not racing in either one of those places today. Chicago, 82 and partly sunny. We've got in Southern California, 86 degrees, but low sal doesn't kick in until Friday again. And as far as the hot spot in the country, you know what it is, Phoenix, Arizona. They're going to get to 102 today in Phoenix. But as far as the precipitation or any other weather is concerned, as far as any of that is concerned for the rest of the country and racing places around the country, it should be fine. We'll have no problem with that. So let's get started with your racing menu for today, reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on the show are that the Pacific time zone. If you're not in the Pacific time zone, adjust to it so you don't miss anything. First post times are Pacific. We begin, and of course, I don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? We begin with Belterra Park. Belterra Park has 8 races today, and Belterra's first post time is at 9:35 at Belterra. Churchill Downs rolls in today. Churchill Downs has a good competitive card today, mostly fast fields. 9 races today at Churchill. First post time is at 9:45 at Churchill today. They've got a pick 6 jackpot carryover of $54,866. $54,866 in the Pick 6 jackpot carryover at Churchill Downs today. 9 races. First post time is at 9:45. Finger Lakes in upstate New York. Finger Lakes has 9 races. Their first post time is at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. at Finger Lakes. Horseshoe, Indianapolis. First post time at Horseshoe, Indianapolis is set at 11:10 for their 9 races. The final race will be a quarter horse race. The first 8 will be thoroughbreds. Horseshoe, Indianapolis, 11:10 there. And then next comes Presque Isle Downs. They have 8 races today. Their first post time is at 12:30 at Presque Isle Downs. Following that comes Louisiana Downs. Louisiana Downs has a first post time set at 2:05 for their 7-race card. Louisiana Downs, 7 races, 2:05. And Canterbury Park. Canterbury Park has 8 races. Their first post time at Canterbury Park today is set at 2:10 at Canterbury Park. And then we wrap it up today with Penn National. Penn National, first post time for 7 races, 2:45 at Penn National. They got a nice Super High 5 jackpot carryover there today. Their Super High 5 jackpot carryover. Penn National, $21,596. And again, first post time is at 2:45. Well, this is the time of the show where we go to Jonathan Hardoon, who would be standing by, who listened to all the stuff that we broadcast earlier and have comments on that, and of course his pick. But he is not with us today. Want to remind you, he does have a handicapping sheet available at his website. Jonathan has a handicapping sheet for Churchill Downs at his website today, and that is you can see is Jonathan. Sheets.com. JohnSheets.com is his website there. All right? But I got your pick from him today. You ready? Let's go to the 8th race. Today's 8th race at Churchill Downs today. A race at 6.5 furlongs for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. It's a starter allowance race. There are 11 before any scratches in the race. We'll try to get the late scratches for you. I just took a look, and they're not there yet. So we'll wait and see if we can get them before the end of the show, just in case. Churchill might have a scratch in that race. That could be Jonathan's horse. But right now, Jonathan in the race 8, the 8th race, he likes number 8, Our Liberty Bell. Number 8, Our Liberty Bell, with Irat Ortiz Jr. aboard at 3-1 on the morning line. So Jonathan's pick for the race day show today, 8th race, number 8, Our Liberty Bell. And that's in the 8th race. By the way, wrapping up what happened on Sunday real quick. On Sunday at Aqueduct, Chad Brown had a couple of winners. He won the 4th race with Flavian Pratt at $4.24. Came back in the 7th race with Manny Franco paying $9.80. Franco had 3 wins on the card on Sunday. Franco won the 5th race for Pat Quick at $13.42. Came back in the 6th race for Dick Dutrow Jr., paying $7.78. And, of course, his 3rd one, and it was 3 in a row, by the way, for Manny Franco. He won that 3rd one for Chad Brown. Chad Brown, earlier in the day, won his 1st race in the Athenia Stakes with Whiskey Decision. A Whiskey Decision, Flavian Pratt rode that one, paying $4.24, outrunning Edict and Awesome Check. And then Kendrick Carmouche wound up winning the late double at Belmont at Aqueduct on Sunday. And that winner in the 8th race, Always Practical, was Jerry J's play on the show. So Jerry J gave us a winner on Sunday with Always Practical, paying $5.80. And his link-ups finished 2nd and 3rd, so the dollar exacta paid $9.28, I should say. And 50-cent trifecta paid $10.89. Linda Rice gave Kendrick Carmouche both his late double wins because she was teamed up with him for Always Practical, and then came back in the 9th race with Penn Street, and they returned $6.78 for a double for both of those on Sunday. Churchill Downs, Tom Amos had a couple of wins with Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz's first win and Tom Amos's first win came in the 2nd race, paying $3.44. And then they came back together in the 10th and final race. with another favorite, Golden Irish, to paid $4.26. However, that was Jose's third win of the day. Jose also won the seventh race aboard Mark Casse trainee at $6.78. Florent Garreau had back-to-back wins. He won the eighth race for Jose DeAngelo's at $11.98, and for Brad Cox in the ninth race at $7.72. And Jonathan Ardoon gave us a winner at Churchill Downs on Sunday, the sixth race winner, Papa Yo. You remember Papa Yo? Tyler Gaffalione winning that and paying $4.80 bet down from 3-1 at Churchill on Sunday. Finally, at Los Alamitos, Doug O'Neill had a couple of wins. He won the first race with Kyle Frey at Los Al, paying $8 even, and then he came back in the seventh race with Lovin' on the Run, a $6.40 winner with Antonio Fresu. That was Rich Ang's pick for us on the show on Sunday, so Richie gives us the $6.40 winner, Doug O'Neill's second win of the day. Trainer Richard Baltus also had a couple of wins. He won the fifth race with Diego Herrera at $17.20, and the last race with Brian Pena paying $5.20. And the team of Ricardo Ramirez and Jesus Urango won a pair of races on Sunday at Los Alamitos. Their first pair came in the fourth race at $19, and they teamed up again in the sixth race at $8 even. That's kind of a little bit of what happened on Sunday with our handicappers and the results. Let's go to Rich Ang standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Well, Richie, it was an interesting week, and I think for the NFL pro football, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, Ralph. And, one thing to take a look at is we only had 2 weeks of the regular season, and we've already got 5 starting quarterbacks all banged up and potentially missing games. It starts with Brock Purdy got hurt in the opener, and Mac Jones did a nice job quarterbacking the 49ers to beat the Saints. But there are 4 quarterbacks injured on Sunday. There's some are definitely out, like Joe Burrow. He's got a turf toe. Jake Browning led a nice comeback win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. J.J. McCarthy of the Minnesota Vikings suffered an ankle sprain. He's out. Carson Wentz is going to play. Jaden Daniels also suffered a knee injury. He's questionable, but Marcus Mariota is sitting on the bench, ready to go. And Justin Fields looks like he's going to be out Sunday with a concussion. That would mean Tyrod Taylor plays for the Jets. So 5 quarterbacks already banged up after only 2 weeks.
Man, that's pretty bad when you talk about trying to stretch it over the entire season in the NFL. That's why it's so important to have a second and third string quarterbacks ready to go if you want to, continue some sort of consistency in the NFL when your number one guy goes down. Out of all of those quarterbacks, which one do you think is the most affected?
Well, Burrow's going to be out the longest, Ralph. They're talking about 3 months. They're talking about surgery on his toe. And, turf toe sounds kind of simple, but it's actually a pretty complex, painful injury. But Jake Browning is a very, very good backup. I think a couple of years ago, he actually had to come in and play 7 games, and he went 4-3 with the Bengals and actually kept them in the playoff hunt. And I know on Sunday he threw 3 interceptions, but when it counted, Ralph, he drove the Bengals the length of the field to score a touchdown on a quarterback sneak with about 18 seconds left. So he can play. And also, of the quarterbacks that I think it's hard to say it's an upgrade, but it's probably a lateral move. Is Tyrod Taylor for the Jets? A lot of people who are downgrading the Jets because of Justin Fields out, I think, are making a mistake. Tyrod Taylor is actually a pretty good quarterback.
What about college football over the weekend? Anything of note?
Well, there were some hellacious football games. 2 of them went right down to the wire. Georgia beat Tennessee in a game that Tennessee actually outplayed Georgia, but Georgia ended up with a W. And a game at night was Texas A&M at Notre Dame. That was an unbelievable football game. And Texas A&M scored late to steal the verdict from Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 0-2, Ralph, but if you look at their schedule, they're going to be favored heavily in almost every game the rest of the year, but they can't afford one more slip up or they're out.
I got to tell you that the 2 games that they played so far do not bode well for them making postseason anywhere except in one of those, lesser bowl games. And all I can say is there's got to be a little bit of reckoning going on at Notre Dame, that's for sure, because that is one college that does not stand for bad football performances too long, that's for sure. And I will have to say, being based in Las Vegas, that we thought the Las Vegas Raiders would probably be a little bit better on Monday night than they were. They were just, it was just terrible. They were just, Geno Smith was missing some guys when he had them open. The line did not protect them as much, and the defense was porous as well.
Yeah, the Raiders pretty much got outplayed every unit, Ralph. Special teams, offense, defense, and I won't say that the Raiders were outcoached, but I think the Chargers have better football players, and I think it showed. I mean, they were dominant, and Geno Smith, that defense for the Chargers is a lot better than I thought they were going to be. They gave Mahomes a tough time in the opener. They gave Geno Smith a tough time in game 2. It looks like a unit that's very cohesive, and these are 2 division wins, Kansas City and over Las Vegas. So the Chargers got a real big step up in the division, 2-0 with already 2 division wins.
Yeah, they are in control right now in that division, that's for sure. And, of course, we have more football to go over this week, and we'll tap you on the shoulder as the days go by, and we have more football games. But for today, we got horse racing. Where are we going with a pick, my man?
Churchill Downs, race number 6. It's a starter allowance, $50,000. Let's go to the outside horse, number 7. Curlin's Gesture. This horse was just claimed for $50,000 by Robertino Diodoro, and now he runs the horse protected, no price tag. Nice outside post. I know the horse ran terrible. Actually, didn't run that well last time out, but this horse has a lot of back speed figures that make sense. So let's go with the 7, Curlin's Gesture, in the 8th. And the 6th, I'm sorry.
6th race at Churchill Downs, number 7, Curlin's Gesture, the 7 in the 6th race at Churchill Downs. And your dog needs to be, he wants something to eat, so we'll let you go.
I'm sorry, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
All right, you got it, my man. All right, and we will, don't forget, Richie does have selections for Southern California when they resume on Friday at the Race Day Las Vegas website. So we're going to be back because coming up next, it's Wednesday. Dwayne Colucci on deck. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. The South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to the Rampart where Mr. Dwayne Colucci standing by. Dwayne, good morning, my man.
How you doing, Ralph, on this beautiful day in Las Vegas?
Oh, man, isn't it beautiful out? Here's that little pocket we get of great, perfect weather right now here in Las Vegas before it starts getting cold.
Yeah, you're right. It gets cold quick too. People
Yeah,
don't realize by I would say Halloween it'll be freezing. So
yeah, yeah.
for us here in Vegas.
I learned that quite a while ago when I was always, I always waited until around Thanksgiving to put up the Christmas lights on my house. And, then it comes Thanksgiving weekend. So you try to get it done the weekend before or on my 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. And by that time it was freezing out. But 2 weeks before that, it was great, but it gets freezing out. So I'm adjusting. That's for sure. Hey, we got a big weekend coming up as far as Parks Racing is concerned. 15 races on Saturday, Dwayne.
Unbelievable, and without a turf course, Ralph. So that's quite an accomplishment. And both the high end stake races turned out beautifully. I mean, the Derby looks great. I mean, you have some really hard knockers there, including Baeza and Gosker.
Yeah.
What a matchup that's going to be. Baffert has his contingency there. You have Magnitude, Big Truz, Out the Belly. So many. I look at this field top to bottom, and it's very difficult to handicap. But I have a place in my heart for Baeza, and I think if the pace turns out good and Berrios just gives him a solid ride, holds him back a little, the class should exude here. Outside of Gosker, I think he's accomplished the most running against journalism and sovereignty, and you have to use that as the measuring stick right now, Ralph. So I definitely think Baeza, off that strong workout at Santa Anita, that 111.4, definitely made sheriffs decide to ship the horse. I personally might have kept the horse in California, just because the Breeders' Cup is in Del Mar. You're going to have all the horses already established there, and he has done a lot of traveling this year, Baeza, but there has been an inactivity period from the Jim Dandy to now, so hopefully he'll be bringing his A game, and we'll be able to reel Gosker in, basically. And the Cotillion is sharp, too. I mean, this is a tough race. Maybe Good Cheer could get back on track. I mean, I really don't think Lacara ran her best race out at Toga last time, so definitely Good Cheer is rounding back into the form we saw earlier in the year. Brad Cox has been on an incredible winning streak, Ralph. I know you know this and you follow. He's just been unbelievable, and he won the Kentucky Downs trainers meet, and also he's continued on with some solid performances throughout the country. So keep your eye. Brad has got his horses in tip-top shape.
Yeah, no question about that. We know that Lacara is going to be the target and the Cotillion. And for those of us who really thought Baeza was going to be one of the top horses, top 3-year-olds, it's gut check time for him because sovereignty isn't in the race and neither is journalism. And as you say, Sheriffs is a very conservative trainer, so the horse must have told him he's ready to run a big race, and we'll wait and see there. But that's on Saturday. Dwayne, we need a pick for today.
Yeah, a bit a little cold, Ralph, but today we're going to go in the 5th race at Churchill. It's great to have Churchill racing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It increases my handle and interest, so that's great. We're going to go with Riley Mott, number 11, Corbett's Crush in the 5th race. I think I'm seeing 9-2. I was glancing at the odds on the morning line. This is an interesting card today. I think this horse could improve off the Ellis Park race. And also for you, dead end kids and Bowery Boys kids and fans, there's a horse, Slip Mahoney, in the race before that I think has an excellent chance as well in the 4th race. But our best bet today is the 5th race at Churchill, number 11, Corbett's Crush, Riley Mott, and Torres. It should get about 9-5, maybe a little less just because of the post position, but this horse is ready to fire.
Well, the people of my generation remember that. So we could do a little rolling double from the 4th race, number 7, Slip Mahoney, to the 5th race, your official pick, number 11, Corbett's Crush, both ridden by Jamie Torres. So let's see if he can go back-to-back. That in the 4th and 5th race, the 5th race, the 11 at Churchill Downs. And I know that if you're up in the area of Summerlin and you want to go to the races on Saturday, the Rampart's the place. If you don't go there, that's your first bad beat of the day. So make sure you saddle on up and get over there if you're in that part of the southern Nevada, growing Las Vegas suburbs. And, of course, you always treat the horse players right. So thanks a lot for that, Dwayne.
I appreciate it, Ralph. Horse players are definitely the number one at the Rampart, and we do take care of them, like you said, and I appreciate all your help promoting the Rampart. It's a great facility. Come and join us Saturday.
I got to tell you, we will always promote places that treat the horse players well. They are the backbone of this great sport. Thanks a lot, Dwayne. We'll talk to you next week.
Definitely, Ralph. Thank you, and have a great race day.
You better believe it, my man. And we are going to go to our final break, and when we come back off of that, John Lindo is going to give us the lowdown on the takeout at Parks Racing. You might want to think twice about that, and certainly maybe even Jerry Jackowitz will show up with a thought or two. Don't go away.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Join Jeff Parles and Alex White.
One of my favorite plays here is getting 2 touchdowns with Florida State.
Even though the total's been batted down a little bit, I still think it's okay to go under.
Chris Andrews and Vinny Magliulo.
I don't think this is a great Kansas City team. I think the Chargers win this game.
All right.
If you see a hook here, it's not going to last long.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorite.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Are we sure either of these quarterbacks are good?
Hell no, we're not sure.
Bet your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming live on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Wednesday, and now we're going to go into Southern California where John Lindo is standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, my man. It's a beautiful day in our neighborhood. Hope it is there as well. And unfortunately, we don't have any racing in Southern California today. But I did want to talk about when Parks Racing comes up. You know, it's a centerpiece maybe in racing maybe 2 times a year. And certainly this is one of the times with the Pennsylvania Derby. First of all, I think 15 races might be a little much.
I am not a fan of these 14 and 15 race cards on big days. I mean, 15, that's 7.5 hours tied to one track and one spot. If you're going to the races that day, I mean, you've got to pack like it's an overnight trip.
Well, not only that, but, horse players have a bankroll. They have a limit of what they want to do. And if you got to stretch out your money, if you're not doing so well, and you better be hitting horses early in the day or you're going to go to the ATM window if you want to stick around for the races and bet it. But they have that Pennsylvania Pick 4 linking Presque Isle Downs and Parks Racing. Now, 2 of the races at Presque Isle Downs for this thing is going to be the Masters and the Mile at Presque Isle Downs, and then it goes to the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby in the other 2 races at Parks Racing. Now, that's a 15% takeout for 50 cents. That ain't that bad. I mean, that's okay. But you have a little information on the rest of the takeout there at Parks.
Well, here's what the horse players are up against at Parks on Saturday, so you can choose your wagers wisely. The win, place, and show pools are 17%, so that's a little high, but it's not terrible. I think the exacta pools and the daily double pools are 20%. That's the same as you deal with in Southern California. That's a reasonable number. And then we get to some of the other wagers. The trifecta pool, the takeout rate is 25%. The pick 3 pools, the takeout rate is 25%. The pick 4 pool, the takeout is 25%. And on that late pick 5 there, the Philly pick 5, it's a 50-cent wager. They announced the takeout as 15%, but it's also a jackpot wager where 30% of that pool is put away into the jackpot for those when there's a single ticket winner in the wagers. So in essence, that takeout is a lot higher than the 15% advertised.
Wow. A little bit rich when you're talking about, the takeout as far as trying to make money when you do bet a winner. And not only are you trying to get the winner that's going to pay close to the odds that you bet to the, payoff when you make the bet, not let alone the late odds action, but then the takeout as well.
It is, and I don't know how busy the computer-assisted wagering groups are involved in a track like Parks, where the pools are relatively small. Obviously, the pools will be bigger on Saturday, so we'll see if we see some of those late odds, fluctuations moving around. But like anything else in this day and age now, be careful with your wagers and try and find the value where you can make a wager and play with some confidence.
Well, I wouldn't jump into that pool where there's that 30% takeout on top of everything else. But, that 15%, 50-cent base bet, coupling the two races at Presque Isle and Parks might be a way of going, because the two races at Parks obviously are the Cotillion and the Pennsylvania Derby, and they are both full with horses, fields with horses that we know. And so the only question would be how the horses run over those particular tracks.
Right. Now, and one clue to that, Presque Isle, that sprint race for the fillies and mares, the Masters, that has produced a lot of good live contenders for the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. So that's a good race. If you're not going to play, at least watch it, because that race, for whatever reason, even though it's run on a Tapeta surface, it produces horses that run well in the Breeders' Cup, especially down at Del Mar.
Yeah, and, taking a look, obviously, at the Pennsylvania Derby and the two horses coming from Southern California, Bob Baffert's horse and, of course, Baeza. I'm thinking that Baeza, especially off of that last workout he had, kind of told John Sheriffs that it's time to find a race for him.
Well, I talked to John Sheriffs and Michael Burns, the agent for Hector Barrios, and all summer down at Del Mar, that horse has been training for one race in mind, and that's the Pennsylvania Derby. They have not had any blips in the screen. Everything's gone according to plan. I know he's trained well out there, but, he's never beaten winners, so he's got to do that. And this is an important race for this horse, not only to win a big race, get that confidence going into the Breeders' Cup when you have to take on the monsters again. And, there are no Grade 1 winners in this Pennsylvania Derby, so this should be a spot where Baeza should be tough to beat. We'll find out how he handles all the shipping, and he's done that so far everywhere he's gone. Mm-hmm. So that shouldn't be a problem. It's just he's got to find a way to get in the winner's circle.
John, what's the plans for the Lindo Report this week?
I'm doing the late pick 5 starting tomorrow, Thursday, the rest of the week at Churchill Downs, and obviously we'll do closing weekend at Los Alamitos. And I tell you, Ralph, that's been a profitable meet. It's been good for me those first 3 days, so I'm looking forward to the last 3.
Yeah, the Lindo Report's been right on the nails on for that meet, that's for sure. Let's keep the mojo going, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it, Ralph. Good luck today.
All right, you got it. Now we're going to go to Mr. Giants, Jerry Jackowitz. Good morning, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my Raiders too, but I'm really proud of the Giants.
Well, you as a Raiders fan, I'm going to be a Raiders fan. I always have been, but I'm not proud of what they did on Monday night. That was a terrible looking game.
Well, I think you're resulting as opposed to seeing what actually happened.
Well, I saw what actually happened. I mean, I'm not blind. I saw what happened. I mean,
no, I mean. I maybe I said it wrong. What I meant to say is that I think they might be playing the Super Bowl team.
The
Chargers look really, really good.
I agree with you that the
Raiders aren't there yet.
Yeah, the Chargers.
The Raiders just aren't there yet.
Yeah, I think the Chargers.
I thought they tried really hard. I thought they played hard. They even got that fumble at the end. I think they were just playing maybe a great team. So. It's coming of age.
Jerry, we got about a minute. We got about a minute and a half, but I do want to ask you this question as far as your contribution today, and that is the higher takeout in some of the pools there at Parks Racing when people are looking at the Pennsylvania Derby, the Cotillion over the weekend. Your suggestion to players: do you really have to jump into those pools?
No, I don't think you do. I think you vote with your dollars. But it's a smaller track, and they have to raise revenue to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
It's and I mean, years ago, if you remember when Hialeah was running with like a 30% takeout, it was like crazy. But it happened to drive all the big players away.
Yeah.
Big players wouldn't play in that.
Sure.
And oddly enough, you ended up with some really kind of decent overlays from time to time. So that probably is the case with parks, where the higher takeout will drive away bigger money. They don't want to play in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have less of the, call them all-star players.
Yeah.
This is the way other people describe them to me, giving you maybe a better chance at finding some kind of decent long shots that you can make some money with. So I don't want to tell anybody not to play it, because there's two sides to this discussion as well. And, you got to understand that as well.
Fantastic. That's a good take on that as well. And you're right. There are two sides to that story. Most of anything you have in a debate, there's two sides too. And we got to take a look at that as well. And so I think the players that are not the all-stars, as you say, just be judicious about it and look at that tote board and get the best odds you can on the horses you like. Anyhow, we wrap.
If the horse is a 25% chance to win, and you're getting better odds than 25%, it doesn't matter what the take is.
Well said, Jerry. And that's the last thing to be said, because we're running out of time. And you always have the last thing to say on the Race Day show. So go ahead and say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.